Okay. Okay, welcome back to Midday. We have Tom Friedman joining us, as well as Terry Ann Wilson, of course, the Kamloops Film Society. We've been checking in with them every week over the last couple of weeks, so thank you again for being here. Talking about this week's film, which is called Puzzle. And I read a little synopsis of this, and it's quite interesting. And the thing that sticks out really in my mind is professional puzzle building. I didn't know there was such thing.
Yes, the world's oldest profession, maybe not what we thought.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about this drama. Is that what you would call this, Terry Ann?
Yeah, this is a character-driven story about a woman who basically lives a really quiet life, and she has a fairly well-meaning but overbearing husband who loves her, but nonetheless manages to not always treat her very well, and she sort of lives in the margins of this life with her husband and her children, and she has a birthday, and she, in the course of the evening, is given a gift of this puzzle, amongst some other things, and she discovers that she is quite proficient at putting together puzzles. So we have Kelly MacDonald and Isran Khan starring in this really beautiful little story about a woman in her 40s who suddenly finds her voice, and she finds pieces of herself that she never really knew existed until she came to this puzzle building experience. And it is directed by a gentleman who has been behind a lot of really quirky, interesting films over the years. His name is Mark Turtletop, and he basically has taken a screenplay that was originally from Afghanistan, an Afghani film, and done an adaptation of it.
Yeah. And this is actually his directorial debut.
Oh.
But as a producer, he's been responsible for some very interesting, quirky films.
Right.
Little Miss Sunshine, which is about a decade ago, and one that the Film Society showed 3 years ago called Safety Not Guaranteed.
Okay.
And it's set in Seattle. And I think we can expect the same kind of quirkiness in this film. You know, the puzzle, jigsaw puzzle, is an extended metaphor for how we put together various elements of our lives. And here's a woman from a very traditional background, very sheltered background, confronted with a man who comes from a completely different cultural experience, and it expands her world from the sheltered life to a world that she didn't know even existed.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, we have a little sneak peek of this, the trailer for Puzzle. Just take a look.
3, 2, 1.
How are you, Agnes?
The same. Not good.
That happens sometimes. Every day. Same thing. The same thing. Every day.
So the root of all suffering is our desire not to suffer.
No one asked you.
Louie.
What's going on?
Mom just did a puzzle.
Only children play with puzzles, Agnes.
Remember, thou art dust, and to dust thou shalt return.
Puzzle partner. I'm here about the puzzles.
Seem to have some mark on your forehead.
It's Ash Wednesday. Is that a problem?
No, not at all. As long as we don't have to share the prize with the Pope.
A competition?
I'm doing it.
Honey.
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you.
So drama, but also kind of comedic as well.
Every once in a while, you see a film like this that there's this amazing on-screen chemistry between two actors, and this is one of those films where there's just this really incredible chemistry that really drives you to keep watching to find out what happens.
They're such different characters. I mean, you know, Khan and MacDonald. And yet there's something that draws them together in a very engaging way.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer itself really captures my attention right away. Would you say this is a midlife crisis kind of a story? I mean, is that sort of what she's going through, or is it really just finding herself?
I think it's more about her finding herself. And I mean, I think more so than a crisis, I think she just has not been able to really know who she is for most of her life, and suddenly through this experience she discovers who she is.
Yeah.
And I think it's a story a lot of people can relate to.
Yeah, she's now her own person.
She's her own
not
person.
necessarily, you know, having to live through her husband, who, like you say, is a little overbearing and whatnot.
Yeah,
So,
And it's really special to come and watch a film like this in a theater with other people. It
Yeah.
just it takes over, and everyone gets to share that experience together and be present together. It's so easy to become distracted when we're not watching films. When we're watching films at home, the kids are calling or whatever, and here you are together watching this experience together. And I think this is one of those films that you benefit from seeing in the theater.
do you expect this to be well received for sure?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is tomorrow night. Is it safe to say 7 p.m.?
Yes,
Again?
it
Okay.
is.
Very safe.
So to make sure that time is accurate for every show.
You can buy tickets in advance,
Okay.
online,
Yeah.
or at Movie Mart, or you can come to the theater, of course. You don't want to stand out in the cold, though, too long.
No.
So.
No, well, it won't be as cold as yesterday, so that's all that
And
matters.
one last thing, next week we have our special documentary pre-screen talk.
Right, that's right.
That's October 11th at the TNRD Public Library.
Okay.
Brian Lamb.
And Brian Lamb.
Don't miss what
is
this
Don't
man
gonna
has to
speak.
say.
Yeah, I
It's
The
remember you
really
saying
cleaners.
The cleaners.
The cleaners.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you both for joining us. Appreciate that. Again, check out Puzzle tomorrow night at the Paramount Theater at 7 o'clock. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.